Okay, 4 o'clock. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Those of you that signed on, welcome to our glide shot putting webinar. My name is Dan McQuaid. I coach at Wheaton North High School in Wheaton, Illinois, suburb of Chicago. I've coached there for 25 years. I've made an immense amount of mistakes, and I want to share with you today everything that I've learned through that rather painful process. My email is right down here at the bottom. Feel free to email me about anything. We're going to ask. We would love your feedback on this whole webinar process, or if you have any questions about glide shot putting, that would be great too. So, email anytime. Hey, so again, this is our first webinar. Jim Akins, Roger Einbecker, and I decided to experiment with this to see if we can use this, technology, this format, to spread knowledge of the throws. So we have a website with a blog, mcthrows.com. Feel free to check that for any future events, and also, we'll tweet them and do our best to publicize them that way. Here's our plan today. I want to go over the fundamentals of glide shot putting, show you some video of some really successful glide shot putters, and then show you a drill progression that you can use to build those fundamentals in your throwers. And then please also submit questions at any time. So you should be able to hear my voice, and then Roger Einbecker will be looking at the questions, and occasionally he will interrupt and ask a question. So that's the voice that the other voice that you'll hear. Hey, if you watched the shot put competition at the NCAA meet a couple weeks ago, or today, and yesterday at the U.S. Championships, you may be wondering why on earth you'd want to learn how to teach your athletes to do the glide shot, because you saw some, rotational shot putters just throwing bombs in those meets. But what I've learned over my years as a high school coach is not everyone is meant to spin. Those people that you see at the NCAA meets and at the USA Championships, they were recruited as rotational shot putters. If you work at a public school like I do, you don't get to recruit, and so you take who you can get. And some people are meant to be rotational shot putters, and some people are not. And for the ones that are not, you got to be ready, to get the best out of them. I went through a phase about 10 years ago or so where I tried to make everybody a rotational shot putter, and it just didn't work. That year, my best senior athlete, he just couldn't throw far with the rotation. He threw about 47 feet from the power position and about 49 feet with his rotational technique. And we just realized, in March that was just not the right path for him. So we switched him over, and he finished the year throwing, I think, 53-11 or something like that. And, because the glide was just right for him. And that's been true with a lot of my kids over the years. So if you're going to be a successful high school coach, you should learn how to do both, to teach both. Hey, here's our template we're going to start with. We're going to look at David Storl, the great German glide shot putter. And we're going to start with the very first phase of the throw, the setup at the back. What I recommend is at the back that you have your athletes with their feet pretty close together. Now, Storl, like a lot of throwers, he does a T position, lifts his leg up high, but then he brings his feet pretty close together. I think this is really helpful because having both sets of toes touching the ground helps the kids keep their balance, okay? You're going to see now he's going to kind of just start to straighten his legs a little bit. He's going to rise up, and then he's going to drop down to begin his throw. Let's see if we're in the right spot here. There we go. He's down, and he's going to go, okay? Let's take another look at that. There he is. He's rising up. He's down, and he's going. Now, I've heard people talk about in the past with the glide technique of teaching their kids to drop their hips to start the throw. I think that's a big mistake, okay? If you let your hips fall like kind of toward the toe board right there, I think it's only natural that your shoulders come up, okay? And you don't want to do that. We want to get you through the ring with your shoulders as relaxed and the shot put as low as you can. also, I think it throws off your timing when a kid drops their hips forward. It's really hard then to fire their right side out of the power position. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, because their center of gravity is just dropping toward the toe board. So I would avoid that. So the way we start our throws, we call it an up-down glide, okay? You want to go start with your upper body hunched over with terrible posture, just the opposite of what we teach them on the weightlifting platform, okay? Straighten those legs a little bit and then drop down, okay? Here's the next phase. We're going to look at the left leg action out of the back. We want the left leg to reach long. See that? So he's keeping his upper body really passive. He keeps his right leg passive until that left leg is done reaching. But we want to reach that leg long. So the beginning of the throw, we go up, down, and reach that left leg out. Here, let me back that up a little bit. Here we go. He's reaching. Now look at that. His left leg is reached almost straight, and his right leg hasn't done anything. Sometimes I think people teach their glide shot putters to fire both legs simultaneously. Like you're going to fire that left back, and you're going to drive hard out of the back with the right. And again, that makes it really hard for you once you hit the power position to fire your right side before your center of gravity gets too far forward. So this is the sequence that I would use. Drop down, reach long with your upper body passive before your right leg does anything.
Dan, question here. How should his back be if not rounded?
Well, I would recommend that it should be rounded. And I'm going to show you in a couple minutes an example of a young thrower who does not round her back. She used a more upright glide, and that's something that you could for sure consider. So I'm going to show that as an alternative in a couple minutes here. But the the best gliders, the most advanced gliders, they for sure start with this rounded back to keep the shot down and back as they move through the ring, because we want the shot to travel over a long path from low to high here. And that's the way to achieve it. But again, I'll show you in just a minute an alternative to that, because, sometimes maybe a kid's not ready. They don't have the balance. They're just not ready to start their throw low with the hunched back like that. Hey, let's look at now the right leg. So the left leg reaches long, long, long. When it's time for the right leg to go, we want the heel to leave the concrete last, okay? Sorry, find that again. There we go. Boom, right there. You can see his heel is leaving the ground last, okay? Again, his upper body is just relaxed. His eyes are down. What we want to do now is we want to suck that right knee underneath us, okay, without the upper body popping up at all. So it's just a matter of pulling it underneath, sucking the right leg underneath. And you're going to see his right foot's going to land at about a 45-degree angle, and that is pretty standard. Boom, right there. Okay. Is
that 45-degree angle what you teach your kids?
It is what I teach my kids. And I think you'll see, if you study really successful gliders, that is their power position. That's where they are when that right foot lands. Right foot at a 45-degree angle, left foot a little bit in the air, upper body back. There have been, for sure, in the history of gliding, some shot putters who land with their right foot turned more of a 90-degree angle, like right here. Ralph Bartels, German, who just retired 3 years ago, he did that. Al Feuerbach famously did that. What you got to watch out for is if you turn that foot too far, you don't want the shot put to come with it. You don't want that turning of that foot to open you up, okay? So 45 seems to be pretty good angle to let the athlete keep the shot put back and still let them fire their right side. So that's what I would recommend. Let's go. Here's the most important phase of the glide shot put. We'll call this the moment of truth, okay? Because this is what separates a fine throw from a lousy throw. What has to happen now is that as soon as your right foot lands in the center, the heel has got to come up. It's hard to see it from this angle. I'll show you another angle in just a second. But with David Storl and any other really successful glide shot putter, that heel spends no time on the ground. It taps because, you know, it has to absorb the impact of your glide. So it's going to come down, but it's going to come down briefly and pop right back up, okay? When it comes up, your eyes have to be back, your chest back, and your right elbow back. That is the key moment in a successful glide shot put throw. Again, this angle, not great, but we'll see. See if we can capture that moment where his right foot, boom, it's up right there, okay? It's actually up a little sooner than that. I'll show you with that other view. But this is something that you have to drill endlessly in the glide shot, because what you're working against here is the fact that your athlete is moving across the ring this way, so their center of gravity is moving forward, okay? You've got to fire that right side before their center of gravity slides too far forward. Once they do that, you're in trouble, okay? You're not going to be able to use the big muscles in your butt and your legs. So the key factor, the critical factor in the glide shot is the heel comes up while the chest, eyes, and right elbow are back. I think this next slide is another view. Yeah, sorry, this is so blurry, but it's hard. It's hard to get a view that and to make it slow enough so you can see. Boom, right there. See that? So Storl's so fast that it's just hard to get a really clear film of this. But as soon as that foot's down, heel is back up. Even as the left foot is landing, the right heel's up, the right knee is pushing out, okay? There's his elbow right there. So you can see his right knee is pushing out already, his right hip is firing, and the elbow and the shot are behind it. Here's some more, couple more looks at that. Down, up with the heel. As the left foot lands, the right heel is up. Boom, right there. He's pushing his right knee out. You want to teach your kids to push that knee forward immediately. Fire that knee and hip forward. I guess what I mean by forward is that way, like to the side, and not forward to the toe board. To push it out immediately. Heel up, push the hip out. There's his elbow right there. Okay. If you can train your kids to do that, they'll have their best throws. Okay. If your kids are not throwing well, it's very likely that they're not hitting this phase. Okay. That their heel is not coming up while the elbow's back and the eyes are back. It is the most important moment in the glide shot. Okay. Here's his finish. Storl in his prime, up to 2014 when he started having knee surgeries, he finished with a very violent reverse. So you're going to see that right here. Boom. One thing I just want to point out about his reverse is, let's go back a little farther. Okay, his heel's up, his right knee and hip are pushing toward us now, okay? Watch his left leg. His left leg's a little bit bent. Again, he's absorbing the impact of his glide, but it doesn't bend much more than that. See that? And that's a really good sign. What you want to watch for, and I'll show it to you in when I show you my drill films later, is that knee shouldn't bend very much. If you film your kids from the side and you're noticing that as they drive into the throw, that left knee is bent significantly, it's because the right side is slow, their weight has shifted forward too far, and the right side, didn't get a chance to do its work. Anyway, great example of reverse right there. Here's another excellent glide shot putter, and I'm going to call him Template 2 because he does the same thing Storl does, he just doesn't reverse. And the way I teach my throwers is we all learn non-reverse first before we try reverse. And you may have some that just are not comfortable reversing. So he's a really good template for a non-reverse throw. Hold on, let me see if I can slow this down a little bit. There we go. Let's try that again. So we just want to go through his technique too, and you'll see he's doing the same, he's displaying the same fundamentals as Storl did, okay? At the back of the ring, he does a T position, but then he's going to bring his feet pretty close together. There he goes. He rises up a little bit. He's dropping down and reaching his left long. So there goes his left. Look how passive his upper body is. His right leg passive. Boom, left leg is done. Upper body's still passive. Now he's going to suck that right foot under. Boom, lands about 45 degrees, okay? Shot his way back. He's in great shape. He's going to get his heel up and drive that right knee and hip out. Boom. Oh, and this is a great view of something that's a really important cue, okay? I want you to see how the distance between his right elbow and right knee expand as he drives into the throw. Let's go back a little bit here. And this is a really important cue that you can use, a really important indicator, I guess, when you film your kids. Boom. So we want to see, he lands, right? You see that space between his right elbow and his right knee. It's not a tremendously wide space, but watch this. Boom. It expands significantly. And the reason it does is because he got his heel up, he blasted his right knee and hip out, and he kept the right elbow back, okay? If you see your kids doing this, they are definitely on the right track. Boom. So the difference between a fixed feet thrower and a reverse thrower is simple. He just stays on the ground. He's more comfortable using the ground for a long time, okay? And a lot of your kids might be as well. Here's another template that I wanted to show you. This is a young shot putter named Sophia Rivera. She's at University of Wisconsin right now. This is, I think, the summer after her junior year she was throwing. She's throwing 18 meters here with a 3K shot. And she's a really good example of an excellent glide, but kind of an upright glide. And some of our kids might be more comfortable with that as well, because then they don't have to bend down so much. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can get it slow-mo here. So Sophia is going to demonstrate those same fundamentals that those other two throwers did. She's just got a slightly different variation, and that is she starts a little bit more upright. So here she goes. She's setting up. Her feet are close together. She's dropping down into the throw, but she stops dropping right there. Boom. See that? So she's just not going to hunch over nearly as much as those other guys. She reaches her left leg long. Left leg is done. Upper body's passive. Right leg has done nothing yet. Now she's going to suck it underneath. Touches down at about a 45-degree angle. Notice how the left foot is still in the air, okay? She's totally, her weight is totally back. Her eyes are back. Her chest is back. Now we want to see her get that heel up. Boom. The distance between her elbow and her knee increases significantly, and she has a great fixed feet finish here. Bam-o. If your kids are throwing with a fixed feet finish, this is a great example. See, she's tall. Her left side is stopped. All the force is going out through the shot. So those are examples of three excellent glide shot putters.
So Dan, do you attempt to start kids in the T position, or do you assess their ability to? I think it's a little bit of a strength issue, or do you allow them to start tall like Sophia?
That's a great question. We usually don't use the T position no matter what. I have the kids start with their feet close together like she's doing here, okay? And then as they get comfortable, I have them try dropping down low like David Stoll or Prozl did. But if you have a kid who's not comfortable, this is probably a pretty good way to start, because they don't have to have as much balance or as much leg strength to get out of this at the back. So I'm going to show you the drills that we do. I'm going to show you an upright version of each one, which for beginners, maybe for freshmen or for anybody who's struggling with their balance might be a good alternative. Okay, so these are the drills that we use in our program, and any of these drills can be done with or without a shot. I don't know about you, what your facility situation is. In my school, we have a field house, but we don't get it very often. Kind of interesting concept. So we spend a lot of time in various hallways doing drills. And so obviously we can't do those with shot puts, but we throw a lot of invisible shot put. But you can still, with or without the shot, work on developing these fundamentals. First one is a simple power position. I want to show you what we emphasize here. What I want to see here with him, and he's doing a great job there, that left arm should sweep long and gently out of the way. Notice how he swept his left arm and his right elbow did not move at all. His head did not move. That's a big issue with young shot putters. Young shot putters want to look in the direction they're throwing, right? And they feel like they're going to generate power by yanking their head. So a lot of times the left arm brings the head and the shot put with it, and then you can never get that distance between your right elbow and right knee because you just don't have a chance. The shot putter's weight slides forward so quickly you can't fire the right side. Now I've heard people talk about with that left arm, be aggressive, like elbow the midget or something like that. I would say do not be aggressive with that left arm at all, because what it leads to is just yanking, pulling into the throw with your left shoulder and your head instead of blasting into the throw with your right side. So just let that left arm gently sweep out of the way. Now we want to see his head stay back, and we want to see again that distance between his right elbow and right knee expand. And that's it right there. That's what we're working on. Heels up, knees pushing out, the distance between the elbow and the knee expand. And we do a drill often where the kids will have a partner, and the partner will put their hand on that right elbow so that the thrower can really feel that stretch. They can really feel that distance stretching. It also helps them to keep their weight back while they're doing it. So a simple power position throw. The next drill we do is a straight leg glide. And I'll show you an upright version, kind of mimicking what Sophia does in her glide. This glide, all we're doing is we're starting with a straight left leg. We're reaching the left leg farther, okay? So it stays straight the whole time. It's going to be a very short glide. Notice that we got that blue line there. He's just going to basically just hop over that blue line. And what we want to see is that he reaches the left long. As soon as the right foot lands, the heel pops back up. So we're ready to expand that distance between the right elbow and the right knee. Let's see how he does. Boom. Pretty good. See he didn't travel very far there, right? We just want to reach the left leg as long as we can. And then just suck that right foot underneath. Boom, right there, right there. It's not going far. The heel's coming up fast. And again, with this upright position, like Sophia uses, sometimes it's easier to emphasize that, to emphasize things like keeping your eyes back and getting the heel up fast. Then later on, when you're ready to start, with that lower start, here's another example. Same thing. He's going to reach his left leg long, reach it longer. Just a quick, short glide, getting his heel up super fast. And again, what we're working on is expand this distance between the elbow and the knee. So he's going to go ahead and throw this one. And then actually he's helping me out here by making a really common mistake. So let's see if we can figure out what it is. See, that looks pretty good, I think, to the naked eye. Pretty smooth. Let's slow it down and see what he's doing here. So straight leg glide, we want to see that left leg reach. He's going to suck the right leg, the right foot under. Heel comes up. He's in pretty good shape right there, right? His heel is up, his eyes are back, his chest is down. Actually, hold on. Just missed the spot I wanted to show you. He's got a telltale fault there. There it is. His weight has slid forward. So you see how his knee is bent and his weight is on that left foot? So he didn't fire his right side soon enough. He's not going to get that big expansion between his right elbow and his right knee, okay? Because his center of gravity, because he's gliding, is moving forward, okay? He hesitated a little bit with his right side. So now his center of gravity is shifted to his left knee. See how the right foot is kind of dragging a little bit? It's not going to be able to fire. His right hip and leg are not going to be able to fire it and blast him into the throat. So watch for that. Again, when you film your kids, if that left knee is bending significantly, they're too slow. They're too slow to fire that right side. Here's the next drill we do. It's a double glide. And again, we'll do an upright version of it here. And it's really simple. It's just 2 consecutive straight leg glides without a pause. It's a great drill because if your weight slides forward on your first glide, you can't do the second glide, right? If your weight is on your left side after one glide, you won't be able to continue through this drill. So it just gets the kids used to keeping their center of gravity back, okay? So 2 glides. He's finishing this, just in that heel pop. A great, great drill. 1, 2, boom. Notice now, we're not trying to travel very far. We're just reaching the left leg, sucking the right foot under twice, popping the heel up on landing. Same drill with the low start. Reach, reach, boom. One more time. Reach, reach, boom. Heel comes up, knee pushes out. Now he's going to throw it, and we're going to look for that same mistake he made earlier. Reach, reach, boom. Again, at full speed, he looks pretty good. He's smooth. I'm going to slow it down. Oops. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So he's going to reach his left, long, pulls it right under. Reach it long, pulls it right under. He's in great shape there. That's very similar to that position you saw David Storl hit, or Prazo, or Sophia, right? Same position, right foot at 45 degrees, left foot not grounded yet, eyes back, shot back. But he's going to hesitate just a little bit. So his weight continues to slide forward. See how bent his left knee is? His weight is on his left leg, okay? So however far that throw goes, it would go much farther if he had stayed back and fired this right side earlier so we could power the throw. As you can see right there, his foot's just kind of dragging into the throw, and you'll see that a lot. That's a really common error among young shot putters, okay? The fix for that is to drill incessantly, get that right heel up, fire that right knee and hip out immediately before the center of gravity can slide forward. Here's our up-down. Yeah.
Dan, do you have any, do you coach the kids on how quickly they should get their left foot down?
That's a great question. I don't, because usually if you emphasize staying back, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the chest back, okay, reaching the left leg long, the left leg, I feel like it kind of naturally lands where you want it. Actually here. Let's see if we can show it right here again. Now, if for some reason they're struggling with that and their left foot is coming down a little early, see if I can get him back a little farther. There we go. If his left foot's coming down early, okay, and taking his weight, one adjustment we could make is to reach the left leg a little higher, okay? I know that the great German shot putter Ulf Timmermann, who was great, shot putter in the 80s, has had a big influence on the way people coach the glide. And when you watch Ulf Timmermann full speed, it looks like he's kicking his left leg so hard that he's trying to, fracture the toe board. I think that's a mistake for young throwers. Most young throwers need to reach that left leg, pretty high. I mean, for sure above the toe board level, so that they end up like this. You don't want that left foot coming down early, and you don't want your weight sliding forward. So if you feel like your thrower's left foot is landing late, then maybe drop that angle down a little bit, and it's something that you'd have to experiment with. But this is what we're looking for right here, okay? So yeah, again, if you feel like there's a problem there, it's coming down too early, have them reach higher. If it's coming down too late, maybe have them reach a little lower, but this is what we want to see right here, this power position. Let's go back to that real quick. So again, this is ultimately what we're trying to get to, an up, down glide, bump, bump. He's throwing fixed feet with a late reverse. And actually, I'm glad kind of glad he did that, because when you're talking about developing a reverse, it's kind of nice if a reverse develops naturally like this, where he's trying to stay fixed feet. He kind of chases the shot up and out. And you can see that he kind of just starts that late reverse. Okay. Sometimes that's a useful step on the road to a super violent reverse like David Storl uses. Oh, and speaking of reverse, I think it's a good idea to do most of your drills fixed feet, a lot of your practice throws fixed feet, but I think it's also a good idea to get everybody to try a reverse. And some of them will take to it and some of them won't. And the ones that take to it, they'll just really like the rhythm of it, and it'll really help them to fire that right side before their weight slides forward. And those who don't like it will feel awful, and they'll get mad at you for ever making them try it. But everybody should at least take a whack at it. And a simple way to do that is to just set them up in a power position, have them sweep that left arm out of the way, and just, we're just trying to get that right foot to the toe board sideways. Sweep and go, boom, just like that. And, to be honest with you, a little bit of that will kind of tell you if a kid has any feel for being a reverse shot putter or if they should just stay fixed feet. And it doesn't matter. I mean, as far as their future as a shot putter, there's been great shot putters that have thrown fixed feet. There's been great shot putters that have thrown with the reverse. Just a matter of finding what's right for a particular kid. And that's it. That's my introduction to the wonderful world of glide shot putting. If I clicked all the buttons right, this webinar is going to be taped, and I should be able to give people access to it. So feel free to email me if you would like that, and I should have that figured out in a day or so. We're really interested in people's opinions about future webinars. We'd like to, use this technology to make information about the throws easily available. So we'd be interested to know what topics you'd like to hear people talk about. We'd like to know any names of people that you'd like to hear. And we're going to try to put together, a more formal survey and send it to you. But we're interested in, would you be willing to pay to make any top-notch presenters? I know here in Illinois, we have a big Coaches Association clinic every January. And, we each pay, I want to say $70 or something like that to hear presenters. But we're limited to presenters who we can physically get to the suburbs of Chicago on that particular day. I feel like, we've talked about this, with this technology, you could have a coach overseas deliver a seminar like this. And so, if you're sitting in your living room like I am in the suburbs of Chicago, you can interact with a coach in Germany or in, wherever. So anyway, we'd be interested in your opinion about all that stuff. So we'll be in touch, but also please feel free to email me if you have any thoughts right now. And I think that's it. Roger, am I forgetting anything?
I don't believe so. We have, did you get emails, did you say? Is they registered?
I did, yeah. So I've got everybody's email.
Okay. So we may follow up with a few things. The intention would be to put these on from time to time and hopefully get some very highly respected coaches to do them as well. Not that you aren't, Dan.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Anyway, does any last questions before we go? And again, feel free to email. I'd be happy to give you access to a video of this. All right, so I think if without any more questions, we are ready to end the seminar. Roger, do you see a button for that?
Leave.
Oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to end the meeting. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.